What an excellent session we just heard. Great tools for all of us. And the Lord orchestrates everything.
That's right.
And so we really didn't plan in advance what we were going to talk about. He had what he was going to talk about, and he said, would you like to teach? And I said, yeah, I'd be glad to. And I'll just see what the Lord says. And so the Lord gave me the subject of a spirit of excellence, the spirit of excellence. So exactly what Walt has just got through saying, there is people now are looking for something in their life, not just spiritual, but they're also looking to go to a place that has their stuff together.
Yes, right.
And so we don't want to put obstacles up that people would not be able to receive from the Lord. And that's what it is. It's distractions. When we do not organize our ministry and we do not do the things that we can do, that we have the power to do. So today I'm going to be speaking about the spirit of excellence. And the way I've got this designed is you can fill in the blanks, and hopefully at the end, if I've missed any, you can say, hey, what is the answer for this particular one? So God is not looking for perfection, okay? He is looking for excellence. Right? So I want to make that clear. God is not, he's not looking for perfection out of your ministry. And that's not what Pastor Stetson taught you either. The Lord does not expect perfection, but he does expect excellence because we do represent him. There's many things in ministry, and you know it as good as I do. There's many things in ministry we cannot control, right? We cannot. But there are some things that we can control. There's some things that we can plan for, and there's some things that we can do. So let's spend some time looking at King Solomon and how he organized his house. And let's look at that, and let's look when he had a guest. He had guests come, and let's see the kind of impact that it had on them whenever they saw how they operated. Isn't that what we want? We want people to come to our church, and when they get there, they say, wow, what a service. Not only was it, the word was dynamic, but also they were organized. They had their things together. And we can talk a little bit about practical areas where we can do that. So I'd like to begin by reading 1 Kings 10. If you've got your Bible, just go ahead and you can follow along with me. 1 Kings 10, 1 through 10. And it says, And when the queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon concerning the name of the Lord, she came to prove him with hard questions. And she came to Jerusalem with a very great train, with camels, that bear spices, and very much gold, and precious stones. And when she was come to Solomon, she communed with him of all that was in her heart. And Solomon told her all her questions. There was not anything hid from the king, which he told her not. And when the queen of Sheba had seen all Solomon's wisdom, and the house that he had built, and the meat of his table, and the sitting of his servants, and the attendance of his ministers, and their apparel, and his cupbearers, and his ascent by which he went up unto the house of the Lord, there was no more spirit in her. And she said to the king, It was a true report that I had heard in mine own land of thy acts and of thy wisdom. Howbeit, I believed not these words until I came, and my eyes had seen it, and behold, the half was not told me. Thy wisdom and prosperity exceedeth the fame which I heard. Happy are thy men, happy are thy servants, which stand continually before thee, and that hear thy wisdom. Blessed be the Lord thy God, which delighted in thee, to set thee on the throne of Israel, because the Lord loved Israel forever. Therefore made he thee king, to do judgment and justice, And she gave the king 120 talents of gold, and of spices very great store, and precious stones. And there came no much such abundance of spices as these which the queen of Sheba gave to the king Solomon. So this was an amazing visit that she had. And let's work through this, okay? So she came for proof. In the first 3 verses, we see that she had heard things about his kingdom, about his house, about how things operated. She had heard about this church, okay? She had heard about how they operated. She had heard about the pastor. She had heard about how the ministries operated. But you know what? There's no way it could be that good. There's just no way. So she came to see if it was true. So she came for proof. And she wanted to see what all the talk was about, okay? She wanted to see what all the talk was about. She had heard all these great things, and she wanted to see what all the talk was about. Wouldn't that be an amazing thing if our church was creating a stir in our communities?
Right.
And they wanted to just come to see what all the talk was about.
Yeah.
So when she came, she brought some stuff with her. And even though she was the queen, she had questions. She had questions. And it says that she shared her heart. She communed with King Solomon. She talked with him about the things that were on her heart. And it also says that she had a need for guidance. So she came with all the spices and with all the gold and with all the blessings and everything that she had as a queen. She still had needs. She still had questions. And she came to King Solomon. Now, think about it. Those that come to our churches, don't they have questions? Don't they have questions in their life? Don't they have things going on in their life that they need help with? They're going to come and they're going to share their heart. They're going to come and see. They're going to have a need for guidance in their life. And guess where they're going to come? They're going to come to the place where they hear that some good stuff's going on and there's a good opportunity that their needs can be met. We live in a hurting world. And some of the people that are coming are very wealthy. Just wealth alone does not answer everybody's questions. Some of the people that come could be very poor. Questions and issues and problems in life oftentimes are no respecter of what people's financial situation is.
Right.
Sometimes the people with the most problems are the ones that have the most stuff to take care of. And they got the most pressure on them. Why not have a place where they could come and get those answers met? Why not have a place where they could come and they've heard about this particular church, maybe your church, where they could come and have their needs met? So what did she witness? No, let me back up. Solomon, in number 4, Solomon answered her questions. So Solomon was prepared. He had wisdom. And so the questions that she had, the needs that she had, the things that she wanted understanding about, he was able to answer her questions. And so again, these people that are coming with questions and needs, when they come to our church and when we're able to help them with the issues of life, whether it be family, whether it be financial, whether it be with their faith, when they do that, when they come to us and we're able to speak wisdom into them, then that's going to be a blessing in their life. And to this point, some of these things are naturally part of what we do with ministry, right? That's what we're real comfortable with, is the ministry end of things. It's when people come to our church, we are there to help them and to serve and to speak into their life and to help them with their issues, right? That's the ministry element. Well, that in and of itself, we're prepared for that in many ways, and that's good. But what about the other part? The part that actually got her in the door, and the part that actually allowed her to even listen to Solomon. Okay? Part of this is the fact that he did things in excellence. He had a spirit of excellence. Everything that he did when she got there, that's really what got her there, is she had heard about how good he operated his house. Okay? So when she got there, what did she do? She witnessed some things. In verse 4 and 5, we see that she witnessed his wisdom. She witnessed his wisdom. It said she also witnessed the food on his table. She saw how they had prepared for her visit. The food that they had, the provision that was in that house. Okay? And we'll relate all this in just a few moments. She also witnessed the seating of his officials. She saw the leadership that he had under him, the delegated leadership. She saw how the things were in order and they were all in their place. What else? The government of his house was organized. So she witnessed all this. This is a queen now that had come and was witnessing how the king Solomon was operating his house. And she also saw the attending servants and their robes. She saw servanthood being demonstrated. Servanthood. She saw all this being demonstrated. Now, I want us to put this into a church context. When somebody comes to our church and they see things operating in an organized fashion, one of the things it does for them is it lets them feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. Now, how many of you have ever been to a Dollar General? Okay. How many have been to multiple Dollar Generals? How many of you have ever been into a Dollar General and you walk in the store and there is junk everywhere? Mm-hmm. And you walk into that store, and even though it says Dollar General on the marquee, you walk into that store and you can't find anything. You feel disoriented because things are out of place. There's all kind of junk all over the floors. It's not clean. And you walk in and out of that store and you're like, oh my goodness. They don't have a very good manager. Right? Yeah. Somebody is not paying attention to you. Right? They got the same products. Man, thank you, Lord. They got the same products. It says Dollar General out over the door. But when you walk out of that place, you say, I'm not coming back to this one. Mm-hmm. And then you go to another Dollar General and you walk into that store and it's bright and it's clean. And you got the person that's standing over there and they said that it's at the checkout counter and they said, come on in, you need any help? And you walk in and everything's where it's supposed to be. Everything's clean, everything's nice, everything's organized. You go up to check out and they say, did you find everything you needed? Yeah, well, no, I didn't. I was looking for some shoestrings and I couldn't find them. Oh, they're on end cap number 4 down there, and if you need any help, I'll help you find them. You leave that place with a totally different mindset and perception than the other one you left.
Different frame of heart.
Different frame. Listen, that is the same thing that happens every Sunday in church. This is the problem. We have forgotten what it means to be a shopper in church.
Yeah.
Because we've been going to church so long, and we're part of the infrastructure, we're part of the leadership, we're part of the ones that do all the work. So we have forgotten what it feels like to walk into a strange place where you don't know anybody. We've forgotten what it feels like to go into a Dollar General and realize that you're a little disoriented. And when people are disoriented, they don't get their needs met as easily as if we take away those distractions. So what I'm saying to you is a spirit of excellence is what God will put in our heart once we get exposure to it. All right, once you go to a Dollar General and you see what it's supposed to be, then you're not satisfied with going into one that's not the way it's supposed to be. So us as ministers and leaders, many of us senior pastors in many of us high-level leadership in your local church, we can go in with a mindset, and I say shopper, and really that's not good. I hate to categorize all people that are coming visiting our churches as shoppers. Some of them are, but what I'm saying is the people that are coming to visit our church, we need to operate in a spirit of excellence so that when they come, they can have the same response as the Queen of Sheba did for the king. When they come in and they say, wow, I see how they clean the church. I see how they keep things in order. I see how their workers are all in their places. I see that they've got provision. They've got things for me. This is really good. All right. That's what we have control over. We have control over that. When we're out of control in this area is probably because we hadn't thought about it or we haven't been that person that's walked into a church as a guest, because for a long time we've been part of the fabric of the church. All right. So let's see the kind of impact it had. First of all, she notices cupbearers. And a cupbearer is a very interesting employee. Because the cupbearer literally tasted the king's wine to make sure that it had not been poisoned. Now, this job of being a cupbearer is a sacrificial job, right? So once you do your job, if you do your job right and you discover some poison, your longevity of serving in that role is not very long, right? But what did it show? It showed because of the thing, how they cared about the king so much, it showed the protection of Solomon. These cupbearers that were in place, it showed how much they loved their leader. Okay? So I want you to think about this from a leadership standpoint and from when somebody comes into a local church. If their church people love their leader, people can see that. Mm-hmm. If their church people do not love their leader, they can see that. Mm-hmm. If the church people see that they care for their leader, then what that does, that breeds the same type of environment for them that they come into. But if they hear people talking and they hear people grumbling and they hear people complaining and questioning, now look, none of us have it all together all the time, right? We don't. But isn't it wonderful when you have people in your church that love you and care about you? Mm-hmm. Isn't it wonderful the kind of statement that makes to visitors and guests? And that's why it is good to honor your pastor during different times of the year, that your church publicly shows that they care for their pastor. This is something she noticed. I'm not making this up. She noticed how they cared for their leader. And also, what did she witness? She witnessed the burnt offerings in the temple. She witnessed the worship. Right? So this is not all about organization from the standpoint of providing different points, but it is also about the worship. The worship was done in excellence. Right? And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. How is it possible then to improve the excellence of our worship? Okay. So she was impressed with what she saw, verses 5 through 9. She was so impressed. When she saw all these things, she was so impressed that it says there was no more spirit in her. It took her breath. She was in awe. Have you ever been somewhere and looked at something and it basically took your breath away? You were in awe. You're like, wow. That's how she responded, by what she saw.
Yeah.
She said this about what she witnessed. The testimonies was all true. Everything that she had been told, it was true. And she didn't believe it to start with now. It can't be that good. Tina, it just can't be that good at Lebanon Junction. That church down the road, that church down there off the train tracks, it can't be that good. It can't, there's no way it's that good. She came into Lebanon Junction. She said, wow, the worship, the people, how everybody treated me. This was amazing. I want to come back next Sunday. Isn't that the kind of impact we want to have on people? Mm-hmm. Because she was an unbeliever and she was changed to a believer. She came in there not wanting to worship. And then she left there talking about how good God was and how good the king and all their servants served their Lord. Okay? Isn't that really what we're looking for? Is that unbelievers would come into our sanctuary and they'd leave believers. Mm-hmm. She confessed that she had not even heard the half of it. Grace Fellowship, man, they had talked about how good it was and I didn't believe it. But Grace Fellowship, they didn't even tell me half of the good stuff that was going on there. Pineville, I'm telling you, this church here, right down there, it's a lot better than I ever expected. And I could say the same about we all have the opportunity to have the spirit of excellence. That's something we can control.
Yes, it is.
Right? What took her breath? Wisdom and prosperity. The wisdom and prosperity that she witnessed took her breath. The attitude of his servants. The attitude of his servants took her breath. What did she say? She said his servants were happy. They were happy. Shouldn't that be a prerequisite at church? That our people serving and volunteer are actually happy to be there?
Yeah.
Come on, somebody. Shouldn't that be a prerequisite? Shouldn't that be a requirement? And I'm not saying you go up to somebody and say, look, you're going to be happy today or you're out. But there's an expectation. We are serving the Lord.
Yeah.
Have we forgotten that we're honored to get to serve the Lord? Mm. I don't have to preach this Sunday. I get to preach this Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't have to go to the nursery this Sunday. I get to go to the nursery this Sunday. You say, what do you know about the nursery? I was the nursery director for a season in my church.
Mm.
And I recruited because I'd go up there to that little child to get it as it's handed over the door, and the child was doing this because our volunteers that were serving in there loved that baby. And you know what? A parent, when they see their child being loved, they don't mind serving to be a part of that.
That's right.
But when they hear we can't get nobody to go to the nursery, so we need some people to go to the nursery because Sister so-and-so's been back there 6 months and she has not had a break. We need people to go to the nursery. Are you crazy? You think I'm going to volunteer to go back there and get stuck for 6 months? See, our servants, our workers, our volunteers are happy.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you recruit. You recruit out of your strength, not out of your needs. You get people to get involved with something that's happening and moving and doing and seeing fruit, right? And it's the spirit of excellence that's going to help us do that. So she saw the servants were happy. And what was her response? She began to bless the Lord. She began to bless the Lord. She began to bless him for everything that was going on. Blessed be the Lord thy God, which delighted in thee, to set thee on the throne of Israel, because the Lord loved Israel forever. Therefore made he thee king to do judgment and justice. She began to bless the Lord for what she had seen. She began to give honor to the Lord for what she had seen. We're not doing anything out of excellence to get our own gratification or our own being uplifted or being, it feels good to get patted on the back. I'm going to just be honest with you. But I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do regardless of whether anyone pats me on the back or not. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling us we should pat each other on the back because the Lord tells us to give honor where honor is due. We should encourage one another. But we don't do everything we do in excellence to bring glory and honor to ourselves. Amen. Y'all know that. That's how you operate your ministries. We do it so that it will bring glory and honor to the Lord. Mm-hmm. And so as we do things in excellence, others will begin to bless the Lord. And it says his excellence caused her to worship. If you look at it, his excellence, how he operated, caused her to worship the Lord. The excellence of his house was a reflection of Solomon's God. Is that a fair statement? Mm-hmm. Is that a fair statement? It is, isn't it? How he operated his house was a reflection on his God. So what about us? The excellence of our house is a reflection of our God. It's a reflection on our God. Now, I'm not saying this out of condemnation. I'm saying this out of encouragement because there are things that we can control. So when people come into our house, the house of the Lord, we want them to see God's excellence in them, right? Okay. So, what was the outcome of that? What happened and what were the benefits that came to Solomon's house because they did things in excellence? A, the Queen of Sheba brought gifts. So what did she bring? She brought much gold. Can somebody say much gold? Much gold. So let's just see how much gold she brought. She brought 120 talents of gold. Now, as I have studied this, and as I have calculated this, This is how much gold she brought. The total weight of the 120 talents of gold was 4.01 tons of gold.
Wow.
4.01 tons is 128,320 ounces of gold. The current price of gold as of yesterday was 3,702.20 cents per ounce, for a total worth of the gold in today's dollars of $475,066,304 that she brought as a gift to give to Solomon.
She brought 4 nuts.
She did what?
She brought a little piece of 4 nuts.
Yeah. She brought precious spices and precious stones. And she brought all this not believing. Think about it. She doubted whether this could really be true. Whether everything she had heard was true about this house or about this church. So, what am I saying? I am saying that when we operate in a spirit of excellence, there will be some people that come who have gifts to bring.
Yeah, that's good.
They have gifts to bring. They have the resources that we need to operate our ministry. Did Solomon do all this just so that he could get her gifts? No. The gifts are a byproduct of us doing what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I want to tell you a little bit about how I feel like the Lord works. The Lord is the ultimate steward. I want you to write that down. The Lord is the ultimate steward. And the Lord knows where He can invest and it bring a return. And the Lord knows a person's heart, and He knows whether or not He can send them to a place that is going to honor Him with the gifts that they have. The Lord is the ultimate steward. So, there are times in our ministries when we operate in excellence that the Lord may bring somebody into your congregation that has the resources to do what needs to be done. The very thing that you need, they've got. Are you hearing me? And the only way the Lord will bring them into your congregation and then be able to release it, because, listen, there are people, you have no idea the resources they have. Just because they drive a beat-up pickup truck and they wear cowboy boots, that does not mean anything about the type of resources they may have and what they want to sow into God's work.
Right.
Yeah.
But then when they walk in, and when the church is operating, and when the workers are there, and they're doing their thing, they start looking, and the Lord starts touching their heart and says, this is where you need to invest. And when there's a vision, when there's wisdom, they begin to say, I want to be a part of this. And Pastor, what do we need? Oh, well, what do we need or want? What does our community need? At this point, I could turn this lesson over to Dallas Luttrell, and he can tell you
Yes, you could.
that what I'm talking about is true.
We're up to $3 million.
That building is going to be
Yeah, we did.
$3 million.
We did the math last night. We were pushing
$3
$3 million.
million. He would testify to you today to let you know that what I'm saying, there are people that God has, they have resources that they want to pour into the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
They want to see people saved. They want to see people's lives. They want to invest. But you know what? We have an opportunity to open that door, to open those windows so that the Lord can bless.
I don't mean to interject and steal your thunder, but what you were saying is I was just agreeing 100%. It was like these folks saw our vision, they saw the need, they knew our history, they were willing to
Yes,
to us.
yes.
All of those things you were saying fell in line.
yes, yes, yes. But what I believe about that situation and many others I've seen is that if they come in and it's disorganized, if there's no vision, there's no wisdom, there's no organization, then they're thinking, nah, I don't think I can invest into this. Okay? Again, these are things we can't control. All right? So things to consider in the last few minutes that we have. God will build his house through the spirit of excellence. God will build his house through the spirit of excellence. But understand this, people will not respect your message if they do not respect you. So this even goes to a personal level, is that we carry ourselves in a way that people can respect us. One of the things that I felt like was one of the greatest compliments that one of my members ever gave me when I pastored my first church. I left that church after whatever time it was. I was the longest term pastor that had ever been there in their 50 years, and I think I was there maybe close to 5 years. So that tells you they've had a lot of turnover. He said, Pastor, the thing I always appreciated about you was that I was never embarrassed to introduce you to somebody I knew. I was never embarrassed that you were my pastor. I felt like that was a great compliment. Because I want to live my life. I'm going to be who I am, right? But I'm going to be the best version of that I can be.
Yeah.
Right? And so people won't respect your message if they don't respect you. And that same goes for your church. You might have great ministries, but what about the other parts of it that we can work on? Okay? All right. God wants to send the Queen of Sheba to visit us. Are we ready? Are we ready? Now, let me ask you this question, and we're getting ready to have some dialogue. Do you believe the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous? Do you believe Proverbs 13:20-22 that says, he that walketh with the wise man shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed? Evil pursueth sinners, but to the righteous good shall be repaid. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. Do we believe that, or do we believe, woe is me, I don't have anything, and our church doesn't have any resources? Let's trust the Lord for what we have need of. All right, so let's discuss. Where are some areas that require excellence in our local church? Okay? Where are some areas?
Landscaping.
Landscaping. All right? I'm going to take this and I'm going to... All right, and I'm going to put this out here, so am I still...
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's some areas? Landscaping, curb appeal. What else? Are you saying when people drive into the parking lot, they're looking? They're looking, aren't they?
I'm saying when people drive by,
When people drive by, they're looking.
they're
Yes.
wondering what's going on.
That's right. That's right. If it doesn't look like it's kept, then they don't think what's going on there. Well,
Quote Donald Trump, his father told him, if the glass from the front door is dirty, don't eat there because the kitchen's the same.
oh,
Mm.
Mm.
that was good. All right. Now, are these all things we can control?
Absolutely.
Okay, what else? Huh?
Greetings.
Greeting. That's right. Do we have greet? Are you talking about greeters that are there? Yeah. Do we have people in place that help those guests when they come in feel comfortable? That's good. What's some other
If
stuff?
it's welcoming, I like to know when I pull in, how do you go in?
Mhm.
Like
You
I-
talk
I
signage.
wanna wait, say, is it this door, is it over here?
Is it easy to
How do you
understand?
get there?
Yeah, that's right. Because again, it's disorienting to go to a new place. This is good. What else?
My pet peeve is a light bulb
Big light bulbs
out.
out.
I will notice that as soon as I walk in the building.
Okay, light bulbs.
Clean
Good.
bathroom.
Clean bathrooms.
That's my.
With
Clean
soap.
bathrooms. Is that something we can control?
Where all the facilities work.
Huh?
Where all the facilities work like they're supposed to.
Do their facilities work like they're supposed to?
You mean like some toilet flush?
If it says out of order, look, listen, if it says out of order, it don't need to say it but 1 week.
Yes.
Mm.
If it just broke down that week and you can't fix it before service, then out of order, but it don't need to be there the next week.
That's good.
Mhm. All right, what else? What else? What's some areas?
Sound quality in the sanctuary.
Sound quality, that's good. That's good. That's good. All right.
Decluttering.
Decluttering. I have that written down. Decluttering. Now look. I know this is a very touchy subject for some because they donated. It was donated to the church, and people feel like it should be there forever. But I want to just bring something to your attention. We all like to update our homes.
Yes, we do. Amen.
And fashion changes and decorative style changes, our church should reflect that.
Amen.
And so,
Backyard sales.
yeah, and give back to the people that gave it to you. You know what? We're going to be updating, and if there's something here that you want that we're going to be repurposing, that's a good word.
Mhm.
We're going to if you would like it, you can have it.
Here's the way I handle people bringing stuff in that they think is.
Right.
You know, their treasure. I appointed a church decorator.
Okay.
Any of the decorating of the church is to be done by this person.
Good.
So if you have suggestions, you go to her, but she is the ultimate authority. That keeps Sister Susie from hanging out the Lord's Last Supper that's been in her family for 30 years.
Right.
It's got stains on it.
Right. That's right. That's right. Here's another thing too. How many has ever sold a home before?
Mhm.
Sold a home. How many has ever had it staged?
Oh,
Have you had it staged?
yeah.
We sold a home and we had it staged, and the lady came in and she said, all this stuff needs to go.
Mm.
Mm.
And so I told my wife, and she wasn't rude about it, but what that lady knew was when people come into a home, they want to see and imagine them living in there, not you living in there,
Right.
Mhm.
right? So I told my wife, I said, this is what she said. She said, what? She said, what? You're gonna get, I said, look, she knows what she's talking about. We're going to do it. And we removed a bunch of stuff. And I'm going to tell you what, we have never, since that time, we never went back to that cluttered look.
Right.
Because it is clean. I'm not talking about clean. I mean, it is clean, but it's a clean feel. It's a uncluttered. Your mind is a lot cleaner when you don't have all this stuff.
And so somebody came in and bought the house and they can decorate it the way they want to. When people come into our churches, we don't need a cluttered church.
Yeah.
We need a more minimalistic type of worship experience that does not draw focus away from what's going on.
Yeah.
Right? So we don't need all the pictures and all this stuff. We don't need all that. We need more of what is going to bring focus to what's going on in the sanctuary. All right? All
I
right.
have a general theory myself.
Uh-huh.
You only have one opportunity for a person to pray.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. All right, what's some practical things we can do to improve the excellence of our ministry?
You mean personally or church?
Church. What's some things we can do, our churches can do, to improve the excellence of our ministry?
Train the leadership.
Hmm?
Train the leadership.
Train the leadership. All right. What's some other stuff?
Worship.
Hmm?
Worship.
Worship. Work on our worship and make sure it's planned. This is the thing about it, and I'm just as spontaneous as anybody. If somebody called me up to their church and say, "Brother White, would you sing a song?" I say, "Absolutely." But you know what? I'm doing one person. One person can coordinate himself or herself very easily. But when you bring other people involved and other people into the mix, it requires preparation, planning, rehearsal. And that's the way with our worship teams. Have times together that you can rehearse so that you don't bring distraction of, what happens when people not on the same page, not in the same key. All right? Pastor Stetson was talking about planning our schedules. Okay? That's a great way that we can exhibit and demonstrate excellence. What else? What can we do?
Sometimes it's easy that we lose our focus of what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We get caught up in all this other stuff.
Right. Right.
So I think if we just took time in prayer and asked the Lord, what are we lacking?
Mm-hmm.
Where do we need to grow? And then just go inside. Just go in your church like with fresh eyes, just like if you were going in there. And just see it from a different perspective.
Right. That's right. And, what else you can do, because we did this before. We asked somebody who's not part of our congregation, that's part of another ministry, would you come in and evaluate us? Would you come in and make a punch list of things that you noticed? And now, don't try to defend yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that and then come in and defend every reason why this is. You don't have to do that. All you're doing now is exploring so that you can see how you can get better. All right?
You need to have expectations
Expectations.
and hold people accountable.
Hold people accountable.
And, we can only expect what we inspect. So
Mhm.
self-evaluation is
Yeah.
critical.
Yeah, great.
And challenge ourselves to work on concentrate on one thing at a time instead of two.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And use the snowball approach.
Yeah.
Make the list and the smallest thing,
Mm-hmm.
deal with it first.
When I went to Russell Springs, we were teeny tiny. We were like a micro church. It was like, it was a little overwhelming. It's like, okay, what is the one thing that I have going for us here at this church? And to me, it was our location and our property. So the first thing I did was concentrate on the exterior of the property. We sealed the parking lot. We cut shrubs. We made the outside look as appealing as we could. Running the pressure washed the sidewalks, and pressure washed our antiquated sign that was 25 years old. And once we got that, where I thought was like, we moved to one more thing. So I developed the mindset is we're not going to be all things to all people. We're going to do one thing at a time, and when we reach excellence, we'll move on to another. Just last month, I was able to add another ministry. After 4+ years, it took me that long and I still got 2 ministries on there, but we just added a seniors ministry last month.
Good.
It's taken a long time,
Yeah,
but it's worth it.
it is. All right. We can clean those glass doors, can't we?
Yeah.
We can clean the bathrooms. We can give people responsibility to do what needs to be done on a team, with teamwork.
And I might add, we've had 2 people visit our church and stay, this is like just maybe like thrill. They visit and stay, and the reason they visit was because the exterior of our church was always neat and
There you go.
clean. And it's like, when they both testified that like a year apart, it's like, I was like, see, I told you so.
Yeah. Okay?
I would say if we present well and we're relatable to the people.
Yes.
'Cause that, I mean, like if you get up in front of a congregation out in farm country and you use words like benediction and
Yeah.
they don't know what that means.
Yeah.
You have to speak in their language.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
it's, we can, speaking in tongues is part of who we are,
Right.
but we also need to speak the language
Yes.
I agree.
where we're at.
Agree.
I mean,
Yes.
he spoke about the Hispanic church and having a translator. Do we need a translator?
Ooh.
Hmm.
I mean, you gotta, part of what they did when they built the wall around Jerusalem, they brought the priests together and they caused the people to understand. Excellence, we've got to go get the understanding from God, which is what Solomon did. He went to God. He said, hey, I need the understanding
Yes.
to rule these people.
Yes, what he did.
And the fame went out, and she heard of it,
Mm-hmm.
and she came to see it. Hey, does this man have the understanding?
Yeah.
And then he related that to something that was acceptable to her.
Mm-hmm.
And then God gave the blessing that she brought in her hand.
Exactly right.
If we don't go to God, and we don't get the understanding that He has, all these other things, not going to help.
Yeah.
That's
All these other things are added to that.
Yeah.
It has to be a matter of the heart first.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. I think we have not had an issue with God. Most of us are honest-hearted with God. I think we've lacked exposure to some of the things that will help us practically to be able to carry out what it is God.
Well, even still, this is something else I thought about while you were delivering, was that, his excellence came from that experience with God.
Mm-hmm.
That's what shined through to her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, she saw all the ivory thrones and all the,
Yeah.
the servants
Yeah.
and all these things.
Yeah.
But she saw something more than it.
Well,
all of those things
yeah.
were tools that we're
Yeah.
getting here today.
that's right.
But that had to
Yeah.
shine through as well.
But yeah,
But
but
those
with all
things-
due respect, the point of it is
Oh, yes.
we can have the best spiritual service.
Mhm.
We can have the best prayer life. And if we lack to demonstrate the excellence in how we carry out in our organization, the very things, the message that we want to give is not going to be received.
But that's where I'm going there.
Yes.
Is that if we're lacking in excellence, it's because we're lacking with God.
Well, I
In
do.
some regard.
I do agree, but also I differentiate. Sometimes we don't know what we don't know. We
Well,
don't know
that's
the
exactly-
impact
Yeah.
that our lack of planning, that our lack of stewarding, our lack of demonstrating, we don't understand the kind of practical impact that has on others.
You may not get the chance to minister.
We might not. We might not.
But
That's
that's why
right.
I'm here today. brother.
That's right. Well, that's the good thing about what we're doing. And we can learn from each other. See, you don't have to, we get wisdom from God oftentimes through others.
Mhm.
We get wisdom from God by spending time with others that may have experienced something and may have learned something, like Pastor Stetson shared with us today. Those things, I was hearing from God today
Mhm.
through this man of God.
Yes.
And that's where we're at. And but we're on the same page.
Yes.
Is that, but what I have seen in not just in our organization, but others, is we say that Without God, none of this other stuff matters. And that is true. That is true. But that's often been an excuse for us to focus on God and excuse and dismiss all the other stuff. Like those that might say, you can study all you want to, but unless you're filled with the Spirit, your message is not going to go anywhere. So some take that and say, well, I don't need to study. I just need to concentrate on the Spirit. You know, that's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm very cautious to make sure we understand that we have scholarship with Spirit.
Yeah.
We have a church on fire for God with an organized ministry as well. We have an excellent house that has wisdom and power and worship, but we also have the details carried out that needs to be done, right? And I love this conversation and this discussion.